All right, I'm going to talk about, hi again, Doug again. I know it seems a little presumptuous for me to speak about time. I'm going to give you a little bit more information to validate my claim. Something that stuck with me, Mr. Yoakum, 12th grade physics class and Pinckney Community High School, taught me that work equals force times distance and power equals work over time. So when I say Doug saves time, I was really talking about work. And if I work harder and do more faster, I save time. There you go. But being as who I am right now, um, I think I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about that and talk about how time is relative. I'm going to try and make this theory of relativity make sense as far as I can. It's better for you if I can. All right, so here goes. You ever hear the expression, a watched pot never boils? That's because you're intent on watching it. You're focused on watching it. But if you were to boil that same pot of water at the same temperature and the same height on the earth, and then be talking to your friend at the same time, all of a sudden that time seems to go by so much faster. And why is that? It's relative, right? To put it into a different way of thinking about it, all right, our galaxy, the Milky Way, has about 1 billion stars, and from one end to the other, bulges in the middle, there's 100,000 light years from end to end. So that's 100,000 years traveling at the speed of light to get from one end to the other. And that's just one galaxy in this amazing universe, which has millions and billions of galaxies, right? Um, so how is time relative as far as that concerned? The further you go out in space, the closer you are in time. And time and space in that way are the same thing but opposite. So it is my personal belief. I know I talk about religion all the time. I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. I'm a pantheist. I think that everything that is natural is divine. And so humans evolved naturally. And so therefore our activities here on Earth are natural. And therefore even anything fantasy is still real in a way and then natural. So if you were to imagine... like I said, our galaxy has 1 billion stars. It's one of a billion galaxies in this universe. Now, imagine a bubble bath full of bubbles. And each one of those bubbles has a galaxy. Or, I'm sorry, a universe. Each one of those universes is the same thing, only different. Slightly different. It could be something tactile, something out of place. It's akin to the show Sliders, if you ever seen that one. But the further you go out, the closer in time you are. So imagine that there's an exact replica of this universe happening somewhere very, very far away in space, but would appear very similar. And if you were to travel there, you might not even know the difference. These are the things I ponder. So it is a little presumptuous for me to talk about space and time. They're relative, so time here on Earth is almost a constant, depending, like I said, upon the elevation that you're at. So if you go out into space, time would speed up and slow down differently, depending on. I use the Earth as an example because we all live here pretty much, and it's common, but it's actually mass. The more massive, and I'm not talking about size-wise, but the more gravity something has, more time and space bend around it. So the Earth is pretty massive, and so time and space bend around it in a relatively uniform fashion, besides mountains and depressions and things like that. But if you were to measure time at the same time around the sun or a black hole, you'd get different results. And the reason is that it's relative. That mass changes its trajectory of space-time that curves around that mass. So, like a watch pot never boils. I hope that makes sense to you, and I appreciate it. I might be going on a limb here, and well, I'm doing my best to help that theory make sense to you, and I hope it did. So you have yourselves a great day again. I want to do a little follow-up video because I can. So take that for what you will. Have a great day. Bye-bye.